Yeah, separate the girl schools and boy schools.
Won't work, baby. Because they'll still go out at night. Do you fancy me? Do you want to shag me a bit? I need a bit of male attention. Do you want to shag me? Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah, but educated girls have a sex life.
No, but they're careful. But they're careful.
They're more careful.
Of course, Joe, and we all know the higher a girl's self-esteem and the greater her expectations for herself, the smaller the chance of her is ever of having an unwanted child.
You're not going to improve the self-esteem by sterilising them.
Well, you force them into growing up if they want to have a child.
Yeah, by education.
Well, no, but they've got to come, Joe. I've just been saying, baby, they've got to come to it themselves. You cannot force education on people, Joe. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
I know you are. Joe, you can't force education on people, can you?
No, but you...
Well, then what the Jesus Christ are you... What are you... Oh, Joe, don't give me this make it available shit. Joe, you come to education yourself. If you don't want it, you can't educate me, right? So what I'm saying is, if I'm not willing to be educated, I don't deserve to be a parent. End of story. Do you agree with that statement or not?
Oh, not really, no.
Why? So no matter how...
There are people in Africa and...
No, because they're educated into their life.
What about the people...
No, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing at all. The African culture is a million, billion, trillion miles away from ours.
You could turn it upside down. You could turn the argument upside down and say that an education is a sterilisation of the mind.
How could I say that?
Because of the birth rate of educated girls. It drops.
Sorry, go that again. An education is a sterilisation of the mind to do with the birth rate. Joe, you've just disappeared up your own arse.
Who has less children?
Educated people.
Children. And a lot of educated people don't have any children at all.
So why is that a sterilisation of the mind?
Because they don't want to have kids.
But that's fine.
So then they're sterile.
No, they're not. They shag for England. They choose not to have them.
Yeah, well, they can shag.
Joe, do you know how good it is? Joe.
Shagging's not the same as having kids.
No, Joe, it's a million, billion, trillion times better. Baby, if men hadn't got a high sex drive and women hadn't got a maternal instinct, there would be no population at all. Women could never...
They don't have the maternal... The educated ones don't have the maternal instinct. And
well, good for them.
They put less offspring into the next generation.
That's brilliant. Isn't it? Why do you want more offspring, Joe?
Because they're educated and the kids will have... The children will be brainier.
But it's like I've been saying for 35 years, we're breeding a nation of morons.
That's it, exactly, yeah.
Because we don't...
because the educated people aren't leaving children into the next generation.
Because we don't want them. Why would you?
That's it. You just so you...
But Joe, it's not sterilisation of the mind. It's an education where you decide, no, actually, why on earth would I bring a child into this shit world? Why would I? Why would you, Joe?
Because you're an educated person and you can bring them up properly.
It's no guarantee.
Or maybe children don't want to be born to them.
Well, there you go.
To educated people.
But it's not a sterilisation of the mind. A sterile mind.
Well, sterilisation is where you stop people from having children. If it's in the mind... They don't want to have children. It's a sterilisation of the mind.
All you want, Joe, is to give people choices, yeah? But you can't have a choice if you're not educated. You can't choose if you're not educated.
Yeah. And so they have babies.
And then...
so the uneducated ones have babies and the educated ones don't.
And we all know the dirty little scroats are the direct result of uneducated little slappers and chavs.
I think what we've got is a two-speed system of breeding in this country.
It's not speed.
Yeah, well, the educated ones have children later in life and have less. The uneducated ones have more children and earlier.
Yeah.
So you're getting the generations going quicker. Do you know what I mean?
The education's going quicker.
No, you get the two generations.
I see where you're coming from.
The two sections of society.
Yeah.
One section where they're having children faster.
Yeah.
And going through life quicker. And one where they're having them slower and a lot less.
Yeah. Which do you think's the best idea?
I don't think either of them are good ideas, really. I think they're both social, Pavlovian. You know, like Pavlov's dogs.
What the hell's that got to do with anything?
Because it just strikes me as being like they're having kids for reasons other than just, you know, one's having them for reasons because they've got nothing else to live for, and the others are not having them because they've got something to live for. They're not having children because maybe they love somebody and they want to stay with them. And children are just a consequence of that.
Well, children are a massive, massive, massive gift in your life, but also a massive, huge, horrendous burden. And sadly, most young chavs and dirty little bimbos out there are not capable of recognising anything about their kid. They see that...
Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, they shouldn't be allowed just to screw up our society even more with every successive generation. Intelligent people have actually got to make a stand and say, hang on a minute, this is screwing our society up.
But our society's always been like that, really, hasn't it, for about 100 and odd years?
I've no idea.
Have you ever read 1984? That was written in 48.
Of course I have, of course I have, of course I have.
When Winston goes into the pub...
Yeah.
And with the sort of like lower classes, working classes...
Yeah.
You know, and he's against them. He's totally alien to him. To someone like you, that area of life is totally alien. The underclass.
No, because I've been there. But
Have you really, really been there?
I'm clever enough to get out of it.
Did you grow up in it, though?
No, of course I didn't grow up in it.
If you grew up in it, you'd realise that an education or even an inquisitive mind, it's not beaten out of you, but it's forced out of you verbally. You don't get rewarded for it, should I say, for having an inquisitive mind.
Well, no, you wouldn't, because they have no relationship with you at all. If you're inquisitive, you are a threat to them. You've just got to do exactly as they say. So why do you want these people to breed then, Joe?
It's that I don't want It's that I don't want a society where there's compulsory temporary sterilisation.
Why not? Until you're educated, they can have as many as you want.
No, because when you're educated, all of a sudden you don't want them.
Of course you do.
Well, not
most people have them, love.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they don't when they're educated. I don't believe in society or governments anyway.
So what do you believe in then? So you are more than... So if you lived in a little village, you were the only guy who worked there, and everybody else was a dirty little scav, sham, scrote, and you were paying all your taxes to look after them, you'd be more than happy to live in a society like that?
No, I wouldn't.
So what would you do?
I'd stop paying my taxes.
But you couldn't.
I'm not paying for this.
And then they'd come and firebomb your house.
Ew.
The little scroats that say, "Give us your money."
Yeah,
because you got to work.
Yeah, you get it taxed off you. That's why they call it taxing.
Joe, don't you realise how much the uneducated scroats hate people with an education? I get 70%.
Yeah, I do actually. I grew up in Benchill.
Right.
I live in Whalley Range now.
Right.
Well, I grew up in Benchill.
Right.
You know,
and you still see your mates?
Do I still see me mates?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And what they're like?
I still go down there. My mum still lives in Benchill.
Right.
What are they like?
And
They're okay.
And your mates, what, have they all got jobs?
Most of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we can't argue with that. And we're not trying to. But we never tried to say for a minute that all guys in Benchill are dirty little scrotes. We're not picking on a particular area.
But it's a section of society. It's not necessarily geographical. There are lots of sink estates.
Of course there are. And some people come off there.
And there are lots of places you don't really want to go to, or hang about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well...
But when I give it to you, Joe, it's like, you're just going to stop paying your taxes because too many scroats have got kids. That's not a very sensible answer.
Yeah, but this is in this theoretical village.
Yeah, well, we live in a global village.
I pay my taxes because it's part of my wages.
It's forced on you, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when you go and live on a desert island, with you and your partner, would you allow any little dirty chav scroats to come and live there?
On a desert island?
With you and your missus and your family, would you let them in?
Would I let them in?
Yeah.
Of course. Life would just be so different on a little desert island.
So you live on this little desert...
They would come as chav scroats, and then they would live as islanders, island folk.
Joe, I think you're living in a complete dream world, baby.
Well, you've put me on this thing.
Well, they'd come there... No, but
Of course it's a dream world.
Yeah, well, they'd come and rob you, wouldn't they?
Rob me of what? I wouldn't have any possessions. I'd be on my little island. I'd just have everything and everyone could share.
Baby. That would be a perfect world, wouldn't it? Which is what we all used to be. Just everybody sharing.
This is it, James. We all used to be
live
in a tribe. We all used to live in a tribe, but that wasn't good enough for capitalism. So they split us into families.
Well, it was the Roman Empire, wasn't it?
And then that
was the Roman Empire, wasn't it?
Yeah. They split us into, family.
Christianity.
Christianity did that, split us into families, then extended families, and then they split us into nuclear families. And now I think they're splitting us up into individuals, into apartments in Manchester. You can see it as you go out of work, probably. All the flats that are going up. They're not for families with 2.4 children, are they? They're for individuals, singles,
metrosexuals, couples, whatever.
Yeah, they're sort of like splitting up. Everyone's splitting up and going their own individual way. I think.
So if your daughter,
it can't go any further than that. But I think.
So really, Joe, in the future, if you had a daughter, an educated daughter, and she came home with a dirty little chav scrote, what would you do?
The chances of that are really, as a boyfriend.
Yeah.
As a boyfriend, that'd be okay.
And then
I've already told her about how to protect herself and the birds and the bees.
And then said, "Dad, I'm pregnant."
I'd know then that she wasn't an educated girl.
And would you blame yourself?
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, so would I, and that's why, if I had a 15-year-old, 13, 12, 13, 14 or whatever, I'd have a temporary sterilisation on her. Absolutely no chance. I don't care about sex and sexually transmitted diseases. That is your own responsibility. But bringing another life into the world, that's what does my head in. Joe, I'm still saying compulsory temporary sterilisation, and when you're educated enough to you've passed all your parenting exams. We're not talking about you've gone to Cambridge and you're earning 60 grand a year. We're not talking about that. But it's life skills, how to be a good parent, what to do when your kid's ill. No, you don't throw it through the door. And if your husband leaves you and you've got to manage on your own, how do you cope with that?
James Stannage.
The best of James Stannage.